All right, listen up. If you're ambitious, driven, and you're starting to see some real success, then this tactical briefing is for you. We're about to break down the one thing that can bring it all crashing down.
See, this isn't about some competitor out there in the world. What we're going to do is arm you with the intelligence you need to identify and neutralize a threat that sabotages your success from the inside out.
Okay, first things first. We've got to do some recon. Before we can even think about fighting this enemy, we need a crystal clear definition of what and who we're really up against.
And look, this isn't some deep Freudian psychology stuff. We're talking about that little voice inside, right? That primal, almost childish part of us that demands to be right, that puts its own importance above the truth, and just distorts reality to protect itself. And here is the first absolutely critical distinction you have to make. Confidence is real. It's earned through actual work, and it's grounded in reality, in humility. Ego, on the other hand, is a fraud. It's unearned, it's built on delusion, and it hides behind arrogance. One is a strategic asset, the other is pure poison. So now we're entering the first real battleground, the ascent. This is that stage in your career when early success starts to roll in, and that is precisely when the most dangerous traps are laid. So, time for a quick gut check, and you gotta be honest with yourself here. Are you more focused on being someone? Chasing the title, the recognition, the fancy office? Or are you focused on doing something? The actual, often thankless work that creates real value. Ego just loves to talk. It loves bragging about what it's gonna do, all its grand plans. Your mission is to shut it up with action. Let your results, your work, do all the talking. While everyone else is busy celebrating, you get back to work and build the next thing. Now, here's a powerful tactic, and it might feel a little counterintuitive at first. It's all about making other people look good. See, your ego wants the spotlight, but real power, real control comes from being the canvas that other people get to paint on. When you clear the path for others, you're the one who ultimately guides where the masterpiece is going.
I mean, think about it. Even Genghis Khan, one of the greatest conquerors in all of history, knew this. He said, if you can't swallow your pride, you can't lead. He got it. He understood that the internal battle is always the hardest one to win. Okay, this next phase, this is where so many promising careers just completely implode. You've reached the summit. You feel like you've made it. But I'm telling you, be careful, because the air is thin up there. As the poet William Blake said, the strongest poison ever known came from Caesar's laurel crown. Success itself can be the deadliest poison.
What's crazy is that after a big win, an ego that's just running wild follows this super predictable path straight to self-destruction. The very things that got you there, your ambition, your desire to take charge, they start to curdle. They twist from being your greatest strengths into these toxic forces of entitlement, obsessive control, and eventually, paranoia.
Yeah, the legendary basketball coach Pat Riley had a name for this. He called it the disease of me. And it's that subtle, almost invisible shift from we to I. You start chasing what you think is yours, the credit, the money, the attention. And in doing that, you poison the entire mission and the team. It's the moment you forget you're just one small part of something much, much bigger. So what's the antidote? How do you fight this? It's simple. You have to always stay a student. See, amateurs, they get all defensive when they're challenged, but pros, they love being challenged, even proven wrong, because it means they're learning. The skills that got you here are not going to keep you here. You have to constantly fight that delusion that you've somehow graduated from learning. So, what happens when you inevitably stumble? And you will. It's going to happen. Every career has setbacks. Every mission faces failure. It is unavoidable. But it's your ego that takes that temporary fall and turns it into a permanent, career-ending crash. The moment you fail, your ego just starts screaming, right? This isn't fair. I was wronged. It takes everything personally. But a strategic mind, it sees failure for what it is, raw intelligence. It's just data that you can use for the next mission.
And that brings us to another really critical question you have to ask yourself. Whose scorecard are you using? Are you measuring your worth by what other people think? Likes, promotions, applause. That's the world's scorecard. Or are you measuring it by your own internal standards, your effort, your integrity, what you've learned? That's your scorecard.
The legendary coach John Wooden defines success not by winning games, but by the peace of mind that comes from knowing you gave your absolute best effort. And what's amazing is you can go back 2,000 years earlier, and the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was saying pretty much the same thing. He said, ambition is tying your happiness to what other people say. Sanity is tying it to your own actions.
Okay, let's wrap this up with your standing orders. Think of this as your field manual, something you need to look at not just today, but every single day.
And you got to remember, this isn't a one and done kind of thing. Managing your ego is like sweeping a floor. You don't do it once and then declare the room clean forever. No. Every single day, the dust comes back. And every single day, you have to sweep. So, here it is, your final takeaway from this briefing. You have to understand that this whole fight against your ego, it's really a journey to know yourself better. And the better you know yourself, the more humble you become. And the more humble you are, the more capable you'll be of achieving those truly great things you set out to do. Briefing complete.